Wildcard weekend brought us some fantastic football matchups. Well, for the most part.
Knocking on his door for that as well.
Here's an interception for good measure.
Now, we are down to just 7 NFL games left in this season. And if you saw my prediction video, you already know that my bracket's cooked. I only got 3 of the 6 games correct, and I'm just thanking my lucky stars that it wasn't less. Here's the only picks that I got right. The Rams barely survived the Panthers, the Patriots held firm against the Chargers, and the Texans crushed the Steelers in what was Mike Tomlin's final game ever coaching for them. Since the bracket now looks completely different than what I had originally from a week ago, here's my playoff bracket 2.0, which hopefully isn't as embarrassing as last time. What's up, guys? Really quickly, I want to address the weird situation over the last day or so that occurred. And if you just want to skip to the picks, you can go right ahead. I'll put a timestamp on screen. But anyways, so I was casually working on my next video project when all of a sudden I got logged out of my YouTube account and I couldn't log back in. So I quickly went to my email to check what was going on, and I received this. Hi KTO, we have reviewed your content and found severe or repeated violations of our spam, deceptive practices, and scams policy. Because of this, we have removed your channel from YouTube. This was shocking news to say the least. I hurried and checked my inbox to see if I had ever received any warnings or anything for this, and no, there was nothing. And I just all of a sudden had to deal with this situation where my channel had been removed indefinitely with no warning. Then I checked the policy that I was accused of violating, and after reading through it, it became clear that I had not violated any of these policies. The email said that I could appeal, which I did. Then it told me that I would have to wait possibly days to get an answer back. This was infuriating. Long story short, I reached out to my management team and YouTube help via X and got the help that I needed to help escalate this process and get my channel reinstated faster. For about 24 hours, my YouTube channel was wrongfully deactivated. And fortunately, it's back. Some of you probably didn't even notice that my channel was gone since it wasn't that long, but for those of you who did and reached out and helped boost my posts on X, I just want to say thank you for helping support me. It means a lot. Also, last thing, someone did say that it unsubbed them from my channel, so if that happened to you, it probably had something to do with the situation. Anyways, it's been a wild 24 hours, so thank you for all your support, and I'm glad things are situated. Now, let's try not to do so bad on these playoff predictions this time. First up, Buffalo at Denver. Denver has the home field advantage and the rest from the bye week, but there's a reason why they're slight underdogs in this game. Under their current regime, the Broncos have made an amazing 2-year turnaround, but they haven't won a single playoff game. In fact, their only playoff matchup in the Bo Nix era was last year versus Buffalo, where they got crushed 31-7. Now, in fairness, they were on the road in that game, and the Broncos are a better team this year. Plus, the Bills were way stronger last year than they are this year. But they still have Josh Allen, who proved that even trailing on the road last week against Jacksonville, he is still clutch when it matters most and is truly unstoppable when he's playing at his best. The Jags kept him mostly bottled up for 3 quarters, and even after them having a great fourth quarter scoring 2 touchdowns, they just couldn't stop him when it mattered most. Now, the Broncos defense is better than the Jags, but their offense has been a little hit and miss. They rank out average in scoring. Really, the key to this game to me is just how is Buffalo going to fare with their hobbled receiving core? The injuries that they've sustained could be a huge issue going into this matchup against the Broncos secondary. Then again, they have their most important contributors around Allen: Shakir, Kincaid, Knox, Brandon Cooks, and James Cook. Considering their huge advantage at quarterback and having far more playoff experience, I'm taking the Bills here. Next up, San Francisco at Seattle. This is matchup number 3 between these 2 division rivals. Back in week 1, the Niners found a way to win at home. Then in week 18, in a battle for the number 1 seed, Seattle controlled San Francisco, limiting them to just 3 points. The biggest issue for the Niners here is their injuries. I talked about it in my initial prediction video, and it got even worse with George Kittle's injury. Now, the Niners did get some good news with Fred Warner being designated to return, possibly for the NFC Championship, but that's obviously irrelevant for this matchup. I think week 18 was a strong indicator of how this game will go. The Seahawks totally overwhelmed the Niners offense, allowing less than 200 yards. I think San Francisco won't have a ton of success moving the ball, plus they'll struggle to pressure Sam Darnold. And ultimately, I see Seattle cruising to victory. Next up, Houston at New England. By the end of the wildcard matchup between Houston and Pittsburgh, it became painfully obvious that Pittsburgh didn't belong. Houston overwhelmed them with arguably the best defense in the league, limiting them to just 175 yards. And they forced game-altering turnovers that helped turn this game into a blowout. But let's be honest, New England is a different beast. Drake May is a strong MVP candidate for a reason, and while he wasn't amazing against the Chargers, he showed that he can make plays running and throwing. That dual threat ability will become an X factor in this game. Also, I'm worried about CJ Stroud. Something seems off. I don't know if it's a lack of confidence, some sort of injury, or maybe both. It's weird. He fumbled 5 times, losing 2 of them, and he threw a bad red zone pick. If the Steelers' offense wasn't a joke, there was a good chance that Stroud would have cost them the game. Now, even with that said, Houston's defense is still special, and they can overcome bad quarterback play. If Stroud is just half as bad as he was in that game, New England is going to have their hands full. I really don't think you can overlook Stroud's issues though. Confidence matters, and when you're going on the road in a hostile environment, things can unravel quickly. I like the Patriots in this game. And for the final divisional matchup, we have the Rams at the Bears. This one has a chance to be special. Every game with Caleb Williams is truly a unique experience. He misses easy checkdowns on the regular, then hits the most insane pass you've ever seen on 4th down to keep the game alive. Initially, my gut was telling me that the Rams was the choice here because they had the MVP frontrunner and they're overall the better team. But man, I can't unsee the last few weeks. They were supposed to easily handle the Panthers in the wildcard matchup. But instead, they're very fortunate to not have lost that game. It took a last-minute heroic drive by Stafford to come out on top. All signs point to this game being played on a cold, harsh Chicago night. Historically, the Rams have struggled in Chicago. They haven't won there since 2003, and McVay is 0-2. Stafford also doesn't have a great track record in cold, snow, and rain games, with a 1-9 career record and a below 80 passer rating. I feel like Chicago's playstyle and the weather favors them. They have a strong run game, and Caleb moves around better than Stafford. This feels like this is going to be the game of the week, and I can't wait. Give me the Bears in a thriller. Now, for fun, why not just finish out the bracket at this point? We have the AFC matchup with Buffalo at New England. During the regular season, these two teams split, with both winning on the road. Both games came down to the wire as well, with New England winning their first matchup on a last-minute field goal, and then Buffalo holding strong defensively to seal a late victory in the second game. I guess it comes down to who you trust more. The Patriots are more well-rounded as a team, just with a younger, more inexperienced quarterback, albeit he has had a good year. Then you have the Bills, who are pretty beaten up and have holes in their defense, but they have Josh Allen. This feels like a coin flip type of game that will come down to the final possession. If we get this matchup, I gotta go with Buffalo. Initially, when I picked the Jags over the Bills in the wild card, I felt like whoever won that game had a very likely shot of representing the AFC in the Super Bowl, which holds true here. And for the NFC Championship, we have Chicago at Seattle. This would be the first game in the playoffs that Chicago would be on the road, and I think that's important here. They gotta fly all the way to the West Coast to play in one of the toughest environments in the NFL. If Chicago does make it to this point, however, it would be tough not to believe in them. But I really like Seattle. This would be the Bears' offense's toughest test by far. Seattle's run defense is arguably the best in the league, with allowing the fewest yards per carry. They take away what the Bears do well, and they force turnovers at a high rate. If Sam Darnold doesn't make huge mistakes, which I don't think he will, then Seattle wins. So, give me Seattle. And for Super Bowl 60, we have the Bills and the Seahawks. Initially, I really liked Seattle over Jacksonville in my previous prediction, and still, I really like Seattle. I think their defense will overwhelm Buffalo. I expect a heroic effort from Josh Allen, especially late in the fourth quarter, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Even though my first bracket failed, I'm still rocking with Seattle to win Super Bowl 60.
He rolls, he's pressured, he's in trouble, heaves it up, oh no!